Greetings, viewers. This is CP666 back again with this Toshiba Tecra 730 CDT. Now, unfortunately, last night really was not a great night for me, for reasons I won't get into in this video. But I was going to make a video about changing the Windows installation on this system without reformatting anything and without having the ability to have a boot drive, because this system is old enough that the only things that it can boot to are the hard drive and the floppy drive. And as you can very clearly see, well, I don't have a floppy drive in this system. That's a CD-ROM drive. And if you wanted to add a floppy drive on one of the sides of this machine, it's this side, of course it's the one that I'm not looking at, there is a port that's covered up by that door to add one, but I don't have the external enclosure. And I mean, you could add the floppy drive here in place of the CD-ROM, but selecting floppy drive as the boot option will not allow you to boot to CD if the CD-ROM is all you have. So really, the only thing that you can boot to on a system like this is the internal hard drive. So I was going to go through that process, but because of the events from last night, by the time I actually remembered that I was going to shoot this video, well, I was pretty much done the whole process, so I'll have to describe it in words. But the way that it works, and the way that you have to do this, is simple. Don't format anything. That's very important. Let's see if I can actually open this with one hand. I could do it in the last video. There we go. Don't format anything. Whatever you do, don't format anything. What you need to do is you need to take your Windows disk, and under Windows, or I guess you could actually do this with MS-DOS as well if you have the CD-ROM extension loaded, but you need to make a folder on the drive for the installation stuff and copy the entire contents of the CD-ROM onto the hard drive. Then, if you are running Windows, you exit out to DOS, and you rename the Windows folder to something else, Old Windows or whatever you want to call it. And if you're smart, you'll do the same thing for the program files folder, so you don't have cross-contamination between your two Windows installs. And then you go and you run setup from the hard drive. Now, setup is going to ask you, or it's going to try and install to the directory that your old Windows installation is in. Don't do that. Choose other directory, and you click next. You put it in C Windows, or I guess wherever you want to put it. C Windows is the default for Windows. It'll complain at you because it says something about how all of your programs won't work and blah blah blah. We really don't care about that. And setup runs pretty much as normal. But again, you do need to watch, because if there is any previous data, such as who the system was registered to, the username, etc., you will need to change that as well. So here's what I've done to the machine. Really, this video is only useful for the few people who were asking what I was going to do with it, or were interested in what I was going to do with it. So we'll power it up, and I'll show you what I've done. I'm not done with it yet. I do still need to install programs. Things like that. Unfortunately, because it's a Toshiba, it uses proprietary memory cards. I have gone ahead and installed the Plus Pack for Windows 98. And I've installed Windows 98 First Edition, not Second Edition. I hate Windows 98. I pretty much always have. I still do to this day. That's the modem ringing, and I probably should disconnect that. But Windows 98 doesn't appeal to me very much for a variety of reasons, but the biggest of which is the Internet Explorer overactive desktop and the forced integration of IE4 with the operating system. But either way, First Edition has always been kinder to me than Second Edition. I don't know what it is about Second Edition. You can see I actually have customized this a little bit. This was the theme that I had on the computer back in the day. Even though, again, it wasn't my system, I pretty much customized it however I wanted to. I've got about 5 minutes left on this tape, so I better make this quick. Remember this? Watch me get my video muted now that I dared to play the whole thing. But we'll go ahead and we'll unselect that. I don't need this junk. But the way you can tell second or first edition from second edition is the presence of this on the desktop. I think you could still enable this in second edition, but in second edition it's not turned on by default. This is another reason I really kind of didn't like it, was because they put advertising on your desktop. So what we're going to do with this is what should have been done with this in the first place. No. Get out of here. This is the Falling Leaves theme, if you're wondering. I haven't really customized this too much, but I'm going to do most of that off camera because it's really not that interesting. A couple other things that I will need to do, because this is a fresh installation of Windows. It's going to get Office 97, and probably a couple of the games that I had loaded on it. I'm not a big fan of computer games or anything like that, so I never really used a whole lot of them. Really, the extent of my computer gaming was 3D Pinball on these machines. And You Lose Your Marbles was another game on these that I used to play a lot of, at least on the Plus Pack. That was included with the Plus Pack, but that's about it. So I don't think there's much else I need to talk about with the system. I just thought I'd give you a quick little update, show you what it's up to and what I've installed, and what I still have left to do. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off. Hope to see you next time. Till then. There is a faint green line running up and down the screen. But I'm okay with that. That's the only blemish that it's got, and it is. It's doing pretty well.